This is Inside Mside, your favorite podcast for all things Morningside. Hear stories from students, alumni, faculty, and more about what makes the Morningside experience so special.
Hello and welcome in to another edition of the Inside Mside podcast here on YouTube, or if you're listening on your favorite audio platform, we welcome you in as well. I'm your host, Zach James, for this episode, and in today's episode, we're going to talk to a familiar face. He is Tim Jager, the newly appointed Director of Athletic Advancement, as he started here a couple weeks ago, brand new position, trying to get some projects done on the athletic side so our student athletes have the best facilities to work with and so that we can compete at, like we expect to in the Great Plains Athletic Conference and in the NAIA. Tim, welcome back to Morningside.
Thank you, Zach. Appreciate it.
Walk us through the process of you coming back to Morningside.
Okay. I was, as you know, I was here for many years, about 18 years, and had left. My previous role was Director of Athletics at Briarcliff University across town. And I just had talked to Chad and JJ, a few months ago, and kind of talked about the possibility of this position, and kind of went through some of the details, and it just seemed like a great opportunity, and I think we're all on the same page as far as some of the improvements and some things we wanted to do, and some attention to some of our athletic facilities and how we can improve those. So it kind of just started that way, and like I said, it was just a great opportunity to come back to Morningside, and something that I just couldn't pass up.
What does it mean for you to come back to Morningside?
It means a lot. Last week, I just started last week, but even last Friday, I was, leaving for the day with someone in our office, and just felt, after a day or two, it was a pretty easy transition. Back in my old office, and just felt like I was home, and it's really good to be back. And a lot of the coaches and faculty and staff are the same. So it's been good just seeing everyone. And like I said, it was an easy transition, and means a lot to be back.
Did it feel like you weren't gone for that long? I know you stepped away to take an opportunity at Sunnybrook and, like you mentioned, at Briarcliff, but did it feel like when you came back for your first day like you hadn't left at all?
It did a little bit. Yeah, like I said, it was good connecting with some old friends and colleagues and coworkers, and it was an easy transition coming back, and I just love, like I said, been here many years, and love Morningside. So yeah, it was great to be back.
So let's delve into this new position that you're fresh and brand new in. What does Director of Athletic Advancement mean exactly?
Yeah, well, it is a new position. So I'm focusing a lot on, I guess my main role will be improving athletic facilities, and like I said, there are some areas that need attention. So there are a number of projects, and kind of trying to prioritize those. Right now, we're looking at an alley gym update renovation, and that would include the floor, the bleachers, digital boards, sound system. A number of components in that, kind of in the shell of the actual gym. And then there would be, phase 2 probably down the road with locker rooms, and the baseball facility, project is obviously a big, something that's in the near future. We have a great short-term solution out at East High, but we're going to need a long-term solution here. So that's something that's on the table, and just a number of different locker rooms, weight room, some of those type projects. So a big part of my role will be to look at what's needed and prioritize those, work with JJ, of course, and Jim Sykes and Chad, and just kind of try to prioritize those. One other thing along with the gym, as we look at that renovation, probably that's number one on our list right now, is really hoping to just get a lot of people involved. And we'd love to get, alumni, more recent alumni, the last 10 or 15 or 20 years. And obviously want to go back to the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, but, really hoping, instead of looking for a few major gifts, really hoping to get, several hundred alumni involved in these projects. And yeah, just get some excitement going and just, what those projects are going to do for the student athlete experience is really a big part of what we're looking at. But I do think it's important. I think just for, in the world of college athletics right now it is important for recruits to come in and see nice facilities and going down to locker room and everything. Cafeteria was just renovated. A lot of those things matter to recruits and their families. And the other side of it too is we want to provide a great experience for fans and the community when they come in. It's obviously about the student athlete experience, and we want them to have some of the top facilities, not just in the GPAC, but like you said, in the NAI. So as we look to compete and be a top-notch our programs are top-notch, and it's just really important in today's just the demographics of small college athletics is we want to have some of the best facilities in the country. So
in what way will coaches, student athletes, how will they be able to give you feedback on what they need and how they can come to you with their concerns?
Yeah, well, the coaches have been very involved already. Just as we started to get this project going, I mean, before I got here, there was a lot of work done by, the court coaches, we're calling them the gym coaches, basketball and volleyball. They've done a lot. And Trent and Jessica, have been very involved in meeting with some companies, and they really know or have a good idea of what they want. So we'll take that information and just add on to that, and as we look at finalizing these projects and adding, taking things away. But the coaches have been very involved, and we want their input.
There are some coaches who were here when you were AD. So how easy, I guess I'll use the word, is to go to them and ask them for their concerns as opposed to maybe the newer coaches?
That's important. I started here in 2003, and like you said, Jamie and Jim, Jessica, Tom Maxon, Steve, there were a lot of coaches that were already here before me. So I coached with them. I was their colleague for 8 or 9 years, probably 9 years, and then, transitioned into the athletic director role in 2012. So, I have really good, good relationships with those coaches. So that does help. And even some of the newer coaches, Jessica and Adam, I hired, and, there are a few new ones that I don't know very well, but, Nick would have come on board after I left, but I, know him pretty well. And just looking at Brian Ferris, I hired, Tana. Yeah, a lot of the coaches I know pretty well. So hopefully that should help in this position where they feel comfortable, letting me know what their challenges are and what they could use. As we, we're really all in the same goal. Like I said, providing good experience for the athletes. And I think having those relationships will help.
So let's talk about the baseball project for a minute. Yeah. It's been a workaround over the summer and the fall. What developments have been made in the last couple of weeks since you've been here, and what excites you about that project? Yeah,
no, I like I said, I just started last week, so there's probably a lot I don't know. I'm sure you heard that we have a very good short-term solution at East High.
And thanks to East, man. I mean,
yeah. And again, I wasn't part of that process, but I know, I talked to Coach Buvia just a little bit last week, and he said they're getting going. So I know he's appreciative and to have a home, so that's short-term. And then long-term, we'd love to, build a field. Hopefully there's the talk of a field on campus. We've been talking about that for probably 10 years. So that's still, I believe, on the table and something we'll definitely pursue.
How important is it for a school, especially of this size, to have its facilities on campus so that fans can easily access it, or students can come to games pretty easily? How important is that?
It's extremely important. Now, I do think there are exceptions where sometimes it may work, especially for practices, our practices, some of the court coaches will go out to the arena quite a bit. And so there are some different exceptions that way. But I think you're right. It is great. I think softball is a great example. Prior to the softball field here on campus, our softball teams played in Riverside at SYA. So just having this field on campus the last, whatever it's been, 18 years, it has been great. And like you said, faculty and staff can come out, students can come to the games on nice spring afternoons. And it does really add a lot to the campus atmosphere and really just the culture. I think it's great to have game days here on campus where it's easy for the students to go enjoy a game.
You mentioned the projects at the beginning that you're most prioritizing. What will those look like in 5 years?
That's a good question. We really want to get moving on this alley gym project. And then, as you said, baseball's on there. We would love to do some work down at Olsen Stadium with some locker rooms and a new weight room. Again, we've been talking about that for many years. Just the hundreds of student athletes here and having either a second weight room or a bigger facility. Just so you can get groups of 50 versus groups of 25 in the weight room. So those are priorities, and I'm sure there's many more that I'm leaving out, but it is really important, I think, for as we have part of really all small college athletics, but just looking at the enrollment side, athletics is such an important part. So as our teams are, we have some large rosters and some large teams, and we just want to take care of them.
And to your point, too, the football locker room, the game day locker rooms are just off Turn 1 on the west side there, right. But their main locker room is in Rosenberg-Dorn. So how cool would it be to have football have a full-time locker room inside Olsen Stadium?
Right, exactly, down at the field. And that space then in Rosenberg-Dorn could be used for maybe a renovated locker room for a different sport. But yeah, we would love to get all the football locker room down at Elwood Olsen, and that's definitely on the list.
How important is it for you to go out and tell fans, alumni, about the progress we're trying to make?
Yeah, that's going to be a high priority. I want to get out and meet with as many alumni, and most of them, almost all of them, are going to be former athletes. So, and a lot of them I do have relationships with. Some of them I don't, from maybe the 80s or 90s. So, right, and building those relationships, it does take time. I want to jump in and get rolling, but it's part of the process is building relationships and really just getting them excited about our vision and our passion and what we want to do and why we're doing it. I think that's key. But yeah, so right now I'm reaching out to alums and starting to set up meetings. And as we get going, and this project gets, these projects get more finalized and we get more details, then I can kind of share some marketing materials and say, hey, this is what it looks like, and then we can, keep moving down the line. But we want to get moving fast, and like you said, I'm starting to set up those meetings and just kind of share our vision.
How excited are they about the projects that you're trying to get across the finish line?
I'm just getting going, but I do feel like, just like we said, the work that Trent and Jessica have done, and Jamie and Nolan, they've all been very involved. And football coaches, strength coaches, everyone's going to be involved. But I think as they start talking to their former teammates or other alum, you can tell there's definite excitement on some of these projects. So I'm just getting going. So, but no, I do think it's going to be some fun conversations, as they hear what some of our plans are.
Welcome back to Morningside.
Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it.
If you'd like to help out the athletic advancement projects, just head to morningside.edu/give. That's morningside.edu/give, or give the advancement team a call at 712-274-5409. Again, that number, 712-274-5409. And wherever you're watching or listening to us, make sure you leave a comment, like, and subscribe to this podcast, and share it with a friend as well. For the university engagement staff and everyone else here at Morningside University, Zach James saying so long, and we'll see you next time on the Inside Mside podcast.